gotta strike while the iron is hot. One of one, don't follow flocks. Man, I got this on lock. Team hard, team hustle, team can't be stopped. Just comp 900 glory, get them fresh out the shop. Let's all roll it. I'm an expert on the lanes. Smooth approach, about to roll a perfect game. And well connected with the sport's biggest names. We can't talk unless an X on the frame. I'm here asking the questions, clear the air and confusion. Fresh, humble, and arrogant with the logo infusion. Red cup for the right vibe. I got the answers, you going live with Bowtie.
Yo, what's going on, family and friends? As y'all can see, I am in a whole totally different backdrop, whatever you want to call it, man. Today is Bowtie on the move, man. Y'all won't believe it, man. But hey, me being on the move don't stop the show. Trust and believe, man. Trust and believe. Today, man, we got part two. We got part two on part two of the roundtable discussion. Man, I know if you guys missed the first one, it was comedy, it was some seriousness, it was some just everything, man. And we coming back to talk about some more stuff. So if you guys got any questions, man, shoot your questions. We would love to answer them. Like I said, it is Bowtie on the move today, man, and we're gonna make it happen, man. I'm gonna bring my people back to the screen real quick. New office, yes, man. I am in my little new office for at least for the next hour and a half or so, man. So I'm gonna bring my people back to the screen. Bam. Now let me unmute them. Hold on, because they, you know my people. They like to talk, especially Ron.
I own it, fellas. I own it. I own it. I know who I is.
What it do, man? What's good, people?
What's going on, Bowtie?
What's going on, boss?
Back again.
Back again at it, round two.
Back again, ready to do it.
Bowtie on the move, but like I said, we going live. So if I was live in the gym lifting weights, it was going live, baby. So we here right now in my car, but we gonna make it happen.
Let's make it do what it do.
Do what it do, and once you start moving, be careful, bro. Be safe.
Oh, once I start moving, like I'm gonna leave it to my co-host. Y'all got that? It ain't gonna be long before I park again.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, that worked.
Hold on. We got a question already from my boy Sid. Fellas, my question is, when y'all was growing up, what did you want to become as far as a career?
Good question. I'll go first on that one. I can tell you. I mean, I had dreams of I like that.
We gonna try. I'm gonna try to stay away from the double cheeseburger. I can't make no promises.
No pet peeve questions. We be all right.
Leave them alone.
John, it's on you, man. You go first.
Hey, what up, Sid? Good to see you, baby. Hope all is well with you and the family, man. Hey, for me, really, quite honestly, one is funny and one is not. But well, I guess you could think both of them was funny because I had dreams of being a professional bowler. I really did, because I grew up in the bowling center, but I didn't really actually become deep into bowling until I joined the youth league. My aunt gave me a flyer about a youth league, and I ended up going and joining. I used to go, like I said, used to be at the bowling center with my dad and used to bowl all the time with him, but that was just, just doing something. Got involved with football and basketball and all other sports, and got introduced to bowling at the age of 13 and joined that youth league. I mean, that bug bit me hard, and here I'm 48 years old, and I'm still as if I'm still 13 the way I feel about this game. And so I wanted to be a professional bowler, but things just didn't work out according to plan. I really wasn't ready for it either, but that's what I wanted to do. And then the other thing I really wanted to do, trip thing, that what I wanted to be, as a kid, I wanted to be a bus driver. I wanted to be a city bus driver. As a kid, we ain't have all the video games and everything, so you had to have your imagination. You could use your imagination to, we came with all kinds of games and things we did as a kid, because it's like a lot of things the kids have today to do, we didn't have it. So you had to be imaginative. And when I was a kid, I actually used to catch the bus to my dad's house by myself, and so I thought it was pretty cool watching the bus drivers driving the bus and everything. So I wanted to be like them. So there it is. That's what I wanted to be.
All right, Stroke, it's on you, bro.
All right, no aspirations of being a professional bowler. Definitely not. That was never on my agenda. I was actually a pretty good baseball player. I probably wanted to be a professional baseball player at one time, but then, like I said, I'm like Ron. I got bit by the bowling bug, and the rest is history. Like I said, very lucky, fortunate to be in elevator repair or service or whatnot that I'm in now. Very fortunate to have a great career that I have as far as in the elevator trade.
All right, Mo, it's on you.
I wanted to be a graphic designer, man, which I went to school for. It didn't pan out. I ended up working, like law enforcement. Now it's this full circle. Now I'm using my graphic designs as in making T-shirts and stuff like that. Like the two behind me I just made today. But other than that, graphic designs, man, and art was big for me, man. I'm a drawer, so I do all that.
Okay. Godfrey.
Nice. What's up, Sid Vicious? Interesting question. I actually wanted to be an architect growing up, and that's actually how I got into computer-aided drafting and design. When you're in high school in those early years, and you're trying to figure out what it is you want to be. I always had, that passion or that desire to actually learn how to make blueprints and drafts and what have you. And I always wanted to get a break in the architectural field. Now, as far as going to school for architecture, I took the SAT, like I think most high school students take, unless, they're in something a little bit more advanced or a college prep and whatnot. And not until after I had taken the SAT and completed it, and we were beyond the deadline to be able to take the ACT, I found out in order to get into most architectural programs at a, reputable university or college, you had to take the ACT. So that's actually how I ended up backing it off and getting into computer-aided drafting and design. I said, okay, I can't get into the program that I want to get into, but what I'm getting into is kind of similar to that. So, it's funny. Graphic design is actually something I would have gone after, if I had, someone actually showing me the way and what I needed to do as far as prepping myself for college. But I always did like architecture. It was just something that I wanted to get into. So that was what I wanted to be. That's what growing up, I wanted to be an architect.
There you go. Well, myself, as a kid, I wanted to become anything that had sirens because I thought it was cool to run the lights. Anything. I was fireman, police, ambulance, anything. I was like, dude, they get to run the lights. They don't have to stop. That's what I want to become. It wasn't because they was out there saving the world. It's because they didn't have to stop at no lights. Tell you, hey, that was me, man.
Hey, man, that's what's up.
Wanda Parker, Kobe or LeBron? Kobe. I'm a LeBron fan, but I can't knock what Kobe has done. Period, point blank.
You better say Kobe or you're going to make Wanda mad.
You ain't never lied.
For real.
The biggest Kobe Bryant
right
fan
now,
I
boy.
have known.
You better say Kobe. You're going to be mad. Kobe for me.
She might mess around. If you said LeBron, she might mess around and click off this joint.
All of a sudden, you see
I ain't talking to y'all. So
see a
I'm
fist
gonna
come flying in.
I'm gonna test the waters, and I'm gonna say LeBron.
Hey, all I know is you'll never bowl with Wanda again.
You never bowl
Right.
Wanda again, bro.
Well, look,
I'm going with
I'm gonna say this. I had a I don't know what happened. Maybe I got lucky, caught her on the right day, because her and I we done went back and forth on this one right here. But she know I'm a Lakers fan, and the reason why I like Kobe is because he played with the Lakers. But I'm more of a LeBron fan than I am a Kobe fan. But I'm thankful that Kobe played for the Lakers. Trust me. I got number love for Kobe.
I am a Kobe fan, Black Mamba all the way, baby, all the way. Laker fan to the heart.
Yeah.
I'm Laker first, so
I like
Yep.
LeBron too, but I'm a Kobe fan as well. I've been a Laker fan ever since I was in high school. You know, James Worthy, that's still my favorite Laker, only because I
That's
got
what's
to
up.
meet him personally, but he is my favorite Laker. But Kobe, back when the Kobe Shaq duo was in effect and winning championships, the things that he was doing, scoring titles, championships. Yeah, I think that Kobe most definitely has the overall edge on LeBron career-wise.
Okay.
I'm not gonna disagree with you on that. I can't disagree with you on that career-wise. But if you just said person for, I'm just a LeBron fan all the way around, not just basketball. I just
As a person,
I've always liked LeBron and how he's carried himself throughout his entire career. And so I don't have no knocks on Kobe or neither one. But if I had to choose, that's the reason why I'm picking LeBron.
Mm-hmm. Overall, I might actually give LeBron a slight edge over Kobe too, in terms of like philanthropy, humanitarianism, the things he's doing with his school and off the lanes, off the court. I actually like LeBron, as I would give LeBron as an overall person a slight edge over Kobe. But if we talking strictly basketball, Kobe.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Mama Gohagan, what's going on? She said,
Hey,
Hey, Mama.
Hey, Mama Lynn.
How
Mama
are
Lynn.
you staying sharp? Hold on. I'll staying sharp during this pandemic. Miss seeing you all.
Miss you too.
Thank you too, Mama Lynn.
Hey, honestly, Mama Gohagan, it's tough. I know myself. I have to travel basically about an hour and a half just to go practice.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm not staying sharp at all. Yeah, my little dumb butt still going out there running to these tournaments because I'll be in Akron, Ohio at the end of the month, bowling the Akron Open, and yeah, I'm running out there. But like I said, I got to try to figure something out. But I am not staying sharp at all. All I can do is work out as far as like weights and things like that. But on having lane time, that's a negative.
Go ahead, Ron.
For me, we're fortunate to have our bowling centers have opened. They opened about a month ago now. So I've been able to get a few reps in. But for me, with this pandemic, it actually slowed me down. So as a result, I was able to actually start, doing some physical fitness. Riding bike, doing some running and walking and stuff like that, and some more exercise. But as far as my bowling, now that the bowling centers are open, I've been able to get a little practice in.
Practice? What's that?
I know you don't know about that.
I ain't practicing. I've been waiting until this. I ain't practiced in 30 years. And
yeah, you did. You practiced when they gave you that 10 minutes of practice before that tournament.
15 minutes, come on. I've actually been going down to Ohio to bowl a few tournaments. Me and Brandy, my fiance, bowled the doubles tournament down there in Ohio a couple weeks ago. I think we finished somewhere near the top 8. And then we had 2 senior singles opens tournaments here. Well, we had them in Ohio, and I finished second in the first one, and then I won the next one. Mo came down and bowled in them, and yeah, that's it. That's going to Ohio to bowl. That's how I'm staying sharp. Michigan ain't open yet.
That's the way it is when you're just that good.
Oh, whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's what Allen Iverson said, right? Practice.
Practice. If I can't figure it out in 15 minutes of practice, something wrong. That's all I do. 15 minutes of warm-ups, and I'm supposed to figure it out, or I need to go home. Plain and simple.
I feel that. Mo, what you got for us?
Well, in Ohio, like Stroker said, we are open. We are open for everything. I done bowled a couple tournaments here in Ohio. There's 3 senior events. I practiced maybe 3 or 4 times in the past 3 or 4 weeks, just to get ready for the PBA tournament that I just did, senior tournament here in Clarksville, Indiana, Crawfordville, Indiana, or something like that. But we've been open, so I've been busy. You know what I'm saying? I've been kind of busy putting them reps in.
All right, Godfrey, what you got for us?
Cool. We were shut down for about 6 weeks. We back open. Most of them are open and have light restrictions, not anything really heavy. but we've been back to bowling around here for probably just as long as we were shut down. And during the shutdown, I was just pretty much trying to stay mentally sharp. You know, I'm going through my pre-shot routine in my head, you know, what I actually tell myself before each shot, and maybe going through a few motions where I could, as far as trying to, you know, not let my muscles forget what they were supposed to be doing, the reflex action. But after that, once things started opened up and I was able to bowl some local tournaments, the regional tournaments started getting shut down. The kind of melting pot type tournaments that I had scheduled to go to, they all got canceled. But the local ones, yeah, I still hit a couple. So haven't been practicing yet. But that's basically because of the clash between my job schedule and bowling. But yeah, fall leagues are about to start up. So, you know, I've hit a couple of senior tournaments locally, and a couple of men's division scratch tournaments locally. So haven't really made a huge splash in any of them, but I am able to bowl again. So just staying sharp has always been mental for me anyway. Bowling is 80% mental. As long as I don't forget what to do up here, I should be somewhat sharp on the lanes, as long as I don't just let myself go altogether physically.
There you go.
If you ever this way, Godfrey, you need to come and bowl some of our senior singles opens tournament. They the best anywhere in the country, man. You ask Maurice, he'll tell you, man.
I second that, brother, because I will be there this weekend for sure, brother.
Yeah. You might as well get your first title this weekend.
I'm gonna try my best, man.
I gotta keep that in mind. Gotta keep it in mind. If I ever get a schedule that lightens up, I'm already ready to hit the road and reinvent the road trip.
Well, you can stay here. We got room.
Okay, cool.
Probably the couch.
This is Kenny Saxon say, welcome back, fellas. Do you think the four of you should bowl on the team together? Absolutely. I'm gonna just answer that and say absolutely. If time is permitted and we got it, absolutely we're gonna make it happen.
You know, and we talked about that last week, and we didn't leave you out, Brandon. You know, it could be 5-person, 4-person, or 5-person.
I
so
yeah, because I'm the number 2 or 3 bowler. I'm your second or third spot. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I already said I was gonna be the ball caddy, so.
Hey, I'm gonna leave this question to Ron. I'm not for sure if anybody else noticed this, but I know Ron coached college. So Eric Lee asked, he said, Ron, can you explain the steps for the youth to take to get into bowling in college?
Well, the first step is you better make sure you make the grade. All right. So because it's called student athlete. Student is first. So got to make the grade. So the biggest thing is, and even though I hate this test, but the SAT and ACT are crucial. And so if anybody's struggling with that, especially, let's just call it what it is, especially as you get closer to the inner city. I'm sorry, we just got to call it what it is. The ACT and SAT scores have been a big hindrance for a lot of youth that I have seen since I've been coaching.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, the trip thing about that is that the SAT really doesn't really speak to the level of knowledge that some of these kids have, you know, because I've seen some that have gone to school, they bombed on the SAT test, had to do a year of residency, and 1 year of college, they got better than a 3.0. So you can't tell me that they just all of a sudden learn something. You know, they already had some. They already had some knowledge, you know what I'm saying? So, but I just some about those SAT and ACT tests, it just doesn't rub me the right way. But it is what it is. That's what you have to deal with. So before you take that test, hey,
what up?
But before you take that test, I would tell any youth, make sure that you get some help on the ACT or the SAT test, whichever one you choose to take. And make sure that you are getting that grade, because I can tell you, if you're not at least at a 2.0, you might as well don't even think about doing no college bowling the first year. So you got to have at least a 2.0 to even be eligible. And then, like I said, the SAT or ACT. So that's the first thing. Second thing, as it relates to bowling, is just, get some coaching, get some, learn as much as you can. Be like a sponge when it comes to bowling. But I mean, that's just for all of us, be like a sponge, try to learn all you can, get some tips from somebody who you trust and believe is going to tell you the right thing, and just bowl, and God knows, please,
great.
If you don't know how to do anything else, If you don't, I don't even care how much you strike, but I need you to make some spares. Okay?
Spares are crucial.
Spares are
The
crucial.
spare on the college level, spares are even more crucial when you're talking about team bowling, because everybody ain't gonna be stringing strikes. That just ain't gonna happen. But the
Right.
teams that fill the frames, those are the ones that usually win. And so it just comes down to just filling frames. And so how you fill frames? Making spares. You catch a double or a turkey here, then you over the hump. But you fill them spares, trust me, you're gonna be one of the best teammates anybody want.
There you go. Hey, see it as name an influential person in your life that helped you become the man you are today. I'm gonna start with Godfrey.
Right off the bat, Pop, my father. I grew up in a bowling family. My mom and my dad both bowled, and but the biggest thing that made Pop a very influential person in my life was that watching his work ethic. Worked at GM for 38 years before he retired, and after he retired, he was still getting up at 5:30 every morning to get into his home routine, his gardening routine. He had a green thumb. He had 53 acres of agricultural land down in Mississippi. He taught me how to balance a checkbook. He taught me that it's always business before pleasure. He taught me, hey, don't give your power to someone else. Don't drop your power in somebody else's lap. Hold on to your power. The way we men would probably put it, protect the family jewels. And, that was something that actually resonated with me and stayed with me all the way into adulthood, to the point where as soon as I'm getting ready to make a misstep, I could hear some of his knowledge ringing in the back of my head, like, oh, okay, all right, take a step back, evaluate some things, and think before you get ready to put yourself into a position that might end up being unfavorable. So, yeah, influential, Pop, without a doubt.
All right, Big Mo, what you got for me?
I'm gonna say both of my parents, Rotha Moore and Johnny Moore. I mean, they were big on just being a man. Basically, my mother taught me how to bowl. My father taught me how to be a mechanic, work on cars, do this and that. Just taught me a whole lot of things. My mother, taught me how to be that person. That good person, that good rich person. You know what I'm saying? So I would say both of my parents. Just basically both of my parents.
All right, Stroke, what you got?
I'm like Mo, probably both of my parents, man. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, and got things done. But my dad was more like Godfrey's dad. He put like 30-something years in a steel mill, and the main thing for him was, and he probably wasn't making a lot of money back then. There was 7 of us, and he made sure that the family always had what they needed. My dad, he made me the man that I am, want to get out and take care of my family.
There you go. Big Ron, what you got for me?
Well, I mean, I can say my whole family, because my whole family was and is crucial to me. But it started with my mom and my dad, man. My mom, my parents split up when I was 2 years old, but they never stopped being my parents, and so I'm forever thankful for that. My mom, I didn't realize that she was struggling the way she was, but I still had a great childhood despite the struggle, so mama always made sure, we had what we need, and we took care of what we had, and we appreciated what we had. And so mom was and shout out to my mama who had her birthday on yesterday. Love you, mom.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday, mama.
Mama was crucial, man, because she just she was just being mama, and we know how our moms are, that she was just being mama. And then my dad, I'm so appreciative to him, because I even told him recently, man, and I have no shame telling, my dad didn't know who his dad was. And so I'm appreciative to him that he didn't go down that same road. He chose to, hey, okay, even though my dad didn't do what his dad didn't do what he was supposed to do, he chose to do right by me. And I'm able to sit here and have this conversation with you guys hugely because of that decision that he made. And I'm forever thankful for that.
There you go. For myself, and I got to say my pops, man, like that was my best friend. I lost him my senior year of high school, so that was devastating to me. He passed away at the age of 49. So,
Wow.
Wow.
but I always had my mom there. You know, I had my stepdad there. To teach me a lot. Um, my brothers, like I said, I'm the baby of three older brothers. So, I always had them. And then, my uncles, they, it was a tough road because I made some decisions in my life and my uncles didn't agree with it. So it's like they talk about me and then they came back to me. So it made me the man who I am today because of what was going on and what was said. But overall, man, my pops, man, hands down. Like, dude, like I said, him and my mom split. Then my stepdad came into the picture, but it was always my dad. Like being a baby, it wasn't like, oh, that's our dad. No, it was my dad. It was always my daddy. Like I'm the baby, but that's my daddy. I don't care what y'all say. But but yeah, man, I truly appreciate it, and I just try to do what I can to keep them smiling down on me, man, because I know every day I make a move, I wake up, it's him looking over me, say, "Come on, son, we're gonna be better than we were yesterday."
That's awesome. That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah.
That's it. This is Gigi Mama. What's up, Mama
Hey,
Mason?
hey, Mama Mason.
She said, hello, gentlemen. Do any of you follow or support PWBA? I follow the PWBA when it's on and support it. Like I said, if it's an event somewhere close by, I try to go out there and support the women, man, because it's not just I'm not a feminist, I don't want to say, oh, this is a man's sport. No, because I love to see the women out there stroking. Like, man, that is some amazing stuff to me. But yeah.
For me, man, if it's bowling, I support it. So women's bowling is bowling, so I'm gonna support it. Anything dealing with bowling, and heck, there's a lot of women that I have bowled with or have wanted to bowl with, and because they just good,
Right.
I ain't got time to go down the list, but there's a lot of ladies that can throw it, and they throw it really good, and and hey man, that's a laundry list of that right there, So if it's bowling, I support it. So of course I support and follow the PWBA.
Yeah, I definitely support and follow, the PWA. Matter of fact, in Michigan, we had one of the greatest female bowlers ever, PWBA, and all y'all know Cheryl, Cheryl Daniels.
No doubt, you're absolutely right.
I definitely support the PWA. Matter of fact, Brandy, my fiance, has actually even bowled a couple of them, and when they're in town, we definitely support PWBA, and we definitely gonna support Gigi. That's for sure.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Gerald, we need you on the show.
Yep. Talk to her.
Yep.
Talk to her.
Yeah, much like you said. Go ahead, Mo.
No, I definitely support. Sometimes I'd rather watch the women than the men, because the men are more about overpowering the lanes, and the women are nothing about. They're all skill. So a lot of times I love to watch the women bowl. You know what I'm saying? Because they definitely can, like, to piggyback off of what Ryan said. It's a list of women I would love to bowl with.
Right.
But hey, I definitely follow them and support them.
Okay, anything that's good for bowling, I support it.
Yep.
Man, woman, child, canine, feline. If it's supporting bowling, I'm there. And there's supposed to be a Midnight Bowler Society tournament here on Friday in a couple of days. Not very far from where I live at all, and my staff mate and teammate, Devere, is going to be bowling in it. So I might have to work late, but even if I have to work late, I'm going to try to run home and shower and get over there and represent and support her as best I can, because we don't have that many events that are that close to me. I really consider this one in my backyard. I don't watch as much bowling on TV as you probably think I should, or would think that I just want to follow, because I'm always all over the place getting pulled in 8 different directions. But when I actually do get a chance to watch some bowling, I'm like Mo. I actually kind of like watching the women a little bit better than the men, because they don't have all that rev rate. They don't have all that axis tilt, axis rotation covering 30, 35, 40 boards. Sometimes it is a whole lot more about skill, and it actually gives you a throwback to kind of what bowling used to be when we all used to watch it on ABC on Saturday afternoon. You got that one groove, and you got to stay in that groove, and sometimes it's more about being able to adjust your speed, being able to adjust your hand position. And I just like the women. The women have game. The women have game that I can actually learn some things from, because I'm not a super huge rev rate or a high speed or a lot of area player either. So yes, definitely support PWBA as much as I possibly can.
There you go. Hey, DK asked, what's up, fellas? He said, what's the most challenging
What's up, D?
mental aspect of
DK
bowling to
Trey.
DK Trey, Naptown in the building.
you? Hey, me,
Hey,
the most challenging to me is staying out of this. If I can stay out of this, man, I'll be so good. Boy, oh boy. But it's like, I got this little guy. You say, like, sometimes he'd be right here on my shoulder, and he'd be talking to me, and I'll be trying to like knock him off. But man, that dude is strong, man. But if I could just stay, if I could just keep them away, I'll be way better.
Hey, Brandon, Ron, before you go, Brandon, a lot of viewers are asking me, what's the link to your YouTube channel?
Going live with Bowtie.
Going live with both. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Go ahead, Ron.
For me, the mental aspect, I've always had somewhat of an attitude. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I just got to be honest. I've always had an attitude, but a lot of folk didn't really understand my attitude, because my attitude, one of the things about Ron Sims is that Ron Sims is a perfectionist. I'm one of them people, I'm either all in or all out. And so I expect a certain level of myself. And when I feel like I'm below the level that I feel like I should be at, that irritates me. That frustrates me. And so over the years, I had to learn how to deal with that. And it's been a lot longer learning curve for me than I really needed it to be. But I'm better today. I ain't out the woods yet. I'm better today than I used to be. But honestly, I look back over it, and just to be honest with you, it stunted my growth. I probably could have achieved more and done more had I learned this a little bit earlier, but we all have life lessons we have to go through. And so one of my life lessons as it came to bowling is I had to learn how to work on my attitude. And my attitude just simply came from me being a perfectionist, and I expect to execute every shot. And when I don't, that bothers me.
There you go.
He telling the truth, because when I first met Ron, I was like, man, he mean. I'm stay away from him. He in his own world, and you better stay away from him. But I don't know. The most challenging mental aspect, DK Trey, is figuring out how to beat you. That's the most challenging. DK Trey, and I don't like losing. I think for me is trying, don't get too far ahead of myself. Just try to stay in the moment. Bowling in some of these matches or championships, and get a lead and start thinking about the trophy presentation and in the third frame and things of that nature. You gotta stay in the moment. And one of my best friends that passed away, Mike Chapman, he taught me that most bowlers wasted energy is worrying about what your opponent is doing. You have no control, and sitting there rooting against your opponent and all, that's wasted energy. It's wasted energy. And he taught me that you don't even think about what he's doing. You do what you do. And like I said, you wasting energy worrying about what your opponent does. But like I said, I need to just stay more in the in the present and stop looking at the trophy presentation and the things you're gonna say after you win. You end up losing.
That's some good stuff right there. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, that is. That's good stuff.
Real good stuff.
Big Mo, it's on you, brother.
Like Stroker said, my biggest problem is looking at that, looking forward to getting that next strike down the line instead of just focusing on what's going on right now, or I'm about to shoot 270 and I'm only on 3 in a row. You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm on 3 in a row. Oh, I'm about to get 7 in a row right now, and I got to stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? And just focus on what's going on right now. You
Well,
know,
you
and
speaking truth
stop
right there.
and stop focusing on what the other bowlers are doing 2 lanes down from me. I get caught up in that too sometimes.
Nope.
You know, looking at Stroker. What's Stroker on right now? You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. But
You ain't got to worry about that this week. I'm gonna be working. Your turn.
I know. That's why I'm getting.
cheering for you
That's
this
why I'm
week. Don't
getting.
worry.
That's why I'm getting in my little buggy and I'm going.
Hey, Mo. So that's the reason why he invited you up this week and said you can come up this weekend and win because he ain't bowling.
Because he
There
ain't
it is.
because he ain't in the field.
Yeah.
I'll be
That
there.
is you coming out.
Smart man.
Smart man.
Hey, look, I caught that earlier, and I was like, dang, Stroker just counted himself out. But he counted himself out because he working.
No,
There you go.
tournament. I can't. It's our non-champion
He
event.
can't bowl.
If you won a tournament in our senior singles open, you can bowl. This is for people that have never won one of our events. So we got almost 70 bowlers right now. And if it was in Michigan, we'd probably have close to 90. But some people don't want to travel to Ohio. But it'll be somebody gonna have a title this week because it's all non-champions this week.
Nice.
Let me
Nice.
tell you something about this tournament. Stroker invited me to this organization. I'm gonna call it organization, and man, I am so impressed. I mean, these seniors, once again, they're 50 and over. They can strike. Don't get it twisted that you're gonna come over there and run some people over. They still can strike. And these guys, they come out and bowl. They come out in bowl. That's for sure. Because right now, I think they got close to 55 or 60 people participating in it right now.
Yeah, it's almost 70.
Oh, 70. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's almost 70 for this Saturday, Mo.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, I gotta get my hat on for real then.
Yeah, you do.
We need to fly Godfrey in.
Yeah, sounds like y'all got the shark field of seniors up there, man. I actually got to try and make one if I can.
It's a lot of great bowlers here, man. It's
a lot of great bowlers, man.
All right, cool. If it continues on in Cincinnati, in Ohio, like I was about to say, if you get one that's in the Cincinnati area, Dayton, Southwest Ohio, I might actually try to make that drive. That's not too tough of a drive for me.
All of them are normally in Michigan, but we are closed right now, so we can't bowl. So we say, hey, we ain't gonna just shut down. We going to Ohio, and they
not gonna sit still. Go where the action is. I hear you.
Yeah. There you go.
And on the question, what's up, DK Trey? Challenging mental aspect, like pretty much the whole panel has said, focus. I am huge on focus, and I'm huge on recognizing and understanding what I see as a distraction. So it's like before bowling even starts, figure out how much you're gonna lay down on the table, and once you lay it down on the table, forget about it. Now it's time to get out there and perform. Don't be running back and forth up and down the concourse trying to see what somebody else is bowling. Don't be running to go and check no bracket table and jackpots and all of that. Don't worry about the standings. Lay it down on the table and forget about it, because now it's time to perform. Then when the performance starts, don't get caught up in flashing lights like the panel has said. Somebody on this, somebody on that. Even if you are trying to focus and stay within yourself and your game, sometimes people want to try and get in your ear and talk about so-and-so is on this and so-and-so doing that. I don't necessarily shoo people away, but I kind of know how to let stuff go in one ear and out the other, or just kind of deflect off of the ear. And it's like, don't worry about, like another thing that y'all said, like you on the front three. I think that a very, very short and or bad memory is good when you're a bowler. I always try to tell myself as one of the key things in my mental aspect, the next shot, not the last shot, the next shot. That's what's important. That's what you need to focus on. Not 3, 4, 5 shots into the game or 3, 4, 5 shots down the line, the next shot. If you're bowling bad, learn how to erase, and don't tell yourself it's over. Don't give up. Keep on trying until you can find something. And if you're bowling good, don't take striking for granted. You always got to be ready for that next step and the step in front of that, because transition comes. Most of the time, you're moving from pair to pair to pair, so don't take striking for granted. The next shot, stay focused, block everything else out.
Let me ask y'all a question. Since we all can, if you don't mind, Brandon, if I can ask a question.
Man, you better cut it out. You ain't got to ask me to ask no question,
Oh
bro.
yeah, but let me ask you. I want you because I know we're talking about the mental aspect. But a lot of us have, well, all of us bowl scratch tournaments, and we know how scratch bowlers are. But how do you feel? How do you balance? I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to ask you a question, but how do you balance staying within yourself, not focusing on what other folk are doing, but at the same time paying attention to what other folk are doing, so that you can kind of, like if you go into the next pair,
Yeah.
do you go over and watch what they're doing or where they're playing or what they're using? Or, I know a lot of guys, they go to get information about what others are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do that? I guess that's my question.
I definitely do that. And that's where I find a lot of people don't do that. Like after a game, you finish and you go down to, what next pair, they skipping pairs, what pair you go to. And I see people fumbling around, go to the snack bar, doing this and that. And the pair that you're going to, they still got a couple of frames left. You're supposed to take advantage of that. You're supposed to be sitting right there and seeing where they playing, unless the guy on 120, and if somebody's playing similar to where you playing, you don't have to take everything into consideration what they're doing, but you can have somewhat of an idea. You go to that next pair and you've been playing fifth arrow, and you go to that next pair and everybody playing a gutter and on a 7-bagger. You probably don't need to be playing fifth arrow when you come to that pair. You got to take that into consideration when you go down there. I try to hurry up and get to that next pair and watch and see what the other bowlers are doing. I do that all the time.
Hey, Mo and Godfrey, I'm gonna let you real quick. Do you like? I say, for instance, you see that pair, and Mo and Godfrey, please don't forget what your response. But and Brandon too. But Brandon, I know you're busy. But anyway, when you say, for instance, you got that pair and they bowling ahead of you, okay, you're not gonna be able to get down there before your game is finished to see where they at. Do you sneak down there doing your game, or do you just?
I really don't know. I try to focus on finishing my game on that pair, and hopefully when I get down to the next pair, after the first shot on one lane and one on the other, you should kind of have an idea where not to play at and go from there. That's what basically, especially if you're going on a house shot, you know what I'm saying? You basically going to be in the same area. You ain't going to go from fifth arrow to the gutter or the gutter to fifth arrow. You're going to be in the same vicinity, and it's about you just try to make a good shot. Because you ain't, you throw a bad shot, you ain't getting no read. You got to make the best shot possible when you go to that next game.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
My thing is, if I finish on line and 10 and I got to go to 13 and 14 or what have you, I always start where I finish with my feet. If my feet was at 22, I'm gonna start at 22. That's just me. And then I go from there. If I have to go right a couple or go left a couple, but I always start where I finish.
Okay.
I really have a problem with that. Like Stoker said, he goes down there and sometimes tries to cheat and see who's of course who you're following. That I'm still learning to this day right now, how to focus on what I'm doing right now and go down 2 lanes and focus on who I'm following, whose game is similar to mine, and go from there. I'm still learning that process. I'm not even gonna lie about that. I'm still learning that.
You're not by yourself. That's why I'm asking the question.
Now, for me, I'm the odd man out. I'm a southpaw. So, a lot of times it's not a whole lot of people that I can actually line up off of, especially when you start talking about rev rate and ball speed, because even then, even if they do throw with their left hand or throw from the left side, I can't necessarily get a read from them because I'm kind of in between. I'm what probably would be classified as a tweener. I'm not a stroker and I'm not a cranker. And I will kind of go down and pay attention if, we finish before the pair that we're following to see if there are any left-handers, just to see if they're getting, the type of read that I was getting. But I'm a lot like Bowtie. I pretty much just try to pick it up from the pair that I just came from and start from there and execute that first shot. I try to execute 100% to the fullest, flawless, that perfection that Ryan was talking about earlier. Because the worst thing in the world that you can do is make an adjustment off a bad shot.
Yeah,
And like I
that's
say,
true.
because we only about 25% of the field, a whole lot of times I don't have anybody to get behind and actually see where they're playing. Now, another thing about that is there are definitely some people that who I trust their judgment, who can actually come and get in my ear and say, okay, over here, 11 playing a little bit, 11 playing about 3 boards tighter than 12, and 11 and 12 all together is playing a little bit more open than 7 and 8. You know, Terry Jones is one of them in terms of actually being able to give me information like that, and I can actually take it and run with it, especially if he's on the pair that I'm following. But you know what Ron was saying, my best friend, he doesn't bowl anymore, but back when we used to hit the tournaments back in the day, his name is Berdale Lewis. Man, he would take it a step further than that as far as following, especially if he was trying to find somebody that lined up. He was always surveying the field. He was always seeing whose game was similar to his. And if he saw somebody whose game was similar to his and he was struggling or trying to get a line, man, he would wait for that person to get up on the approach, and he would go over to the pair and be like, excuse me. And he would get right behind them while they were up on the approach, and he would watch them from the first step all the way through the follow through. He watched where that ball was going as far as what it was hitting down by the arrows. Okay, thank you. And then going back where he was going. It was just, he had no shame whatsoever. It's like if you're trying to line up and bowl your best and you need that kind of a read, hey, do what you got to do in order to make it happen. Because, hey, you're out there to win. So as long as you're not doing anything illegal or some type of violation, do what you got to do in order to keep the flow going.
That's all good.
Yep.
Now, I have a question for you guys. You know, maybe you can teach me a little something. Targeting. Ron, Stoker, Godfrey, how do you guys, Brandon, how do you guys target?
That's a good question. You know what? I actually split boards, and I don't ever really look at, I split boards if need be, meaning that I will actually look at that crease in between 2 boards. If I need, you know, to actually feel myself getting as much focus as I need to get on my target and what I'm looking at. But rarely, if ever, am I actually looking at an actual mark on the lane. Where I'm usually looking is about half the distance between the foul line and the first set of dots in the heads. That's how I target.
Okay.
For myself, it basically for me, and like I said, everybody's different. It all depends on what the lanes are doing. Like if they're dead tight, I'm trying to look as early as possible. I'm trying to set it down before the foul line if I have to, you know. And if they hooking, I'm trying to look out as far as I can on the lane and get it to that point, you know. I've actually learned how to actually loft the ball quite a bit, you know, from playing on some stuff that was real dry. But for me, it all depends on if they're hooking or if they're tight.
Right. And for me, it's the same thing. Just the same thing Struggle just said. I'm the same way. I look at my comfort zone is halfway between the dots and the arrows. But if I got more juice in the heads, I'm bringing my eyes even closer back to the foul line, just so I can make sure I'm laying it down and getting the ball into the lane as soon as possible to try to create some motion. You know what I'm saying? But you know, one thing I will warn against, especially if you don't practice, you have to. Sometimes you can maybe look too far down the lanes, and it actually disturbs your flow of how you get to the foul line. You know what I'm saying? So, because I've tried that myself where you got on some stuff that's really, I mean, they really hooking. I mean, they really sparking. And so you try to look further down the lane, and next thing you know, you're throwing it 150 miles an hour. I know you're trying to increase ball speed, but now your accuracy and everything is going out the window. So now that's not gonna do you any good. So now you've gotten out your own personal groove. And so you have to be careful with that. So you're gonna have to practice that. But moving the eyes that's another form of adjustment, is moving your eyes.
Yep.
Thanks.
Hey,
I
I'm
appreciate
back.
that. Great info.
Bowtie was on the move, but I'm back now. I'm back parked and we good to go.
We saw that.
You saw that.
Hey,
Smart man, being safe. Be safe.
That's it.
Yeah, you see, hey, I put it down. I'm good. As you can answer this real quick. Anybody bowled a 300 without practice? Without shadow practice?
I have.
Of course you have.
Oh no.
Talking to the guys who don't even practice.
What's funny about that too is I did it in the league, and then I come back the next week and I don't know why I was running late, and I had the front 11. It's funny too because I got there and somebody was telling me how the lanes was playing. I was throwing a ball that didn't hook on the left on lane 1. We was on 1 and 2. A ball that didn't hook on lane 1, and a ball that really hooked on lane 2. And I was like, yeah, man, you was right. This lane is hooking. Now I got the front 11. I'm so excited. I get up for the last ball on the tight lane. You know, I'm on the tight lane, and I grab the ball that don't hook. Yeah, and that bucket was waiting for me too. I was like, I got the wrong ball. Kidding me?
Hey, Kenny, I can't say that I ever have, but what is shallow practice?
No,
I think he means shadow.
I know you're talking about the shadow practice back in the day when you didn't have the pins. I'm just messing with you, Kenny.
Right, right.
So I've never, you know, I've been fortunate to at least get a couple shots in before I shot that 3.
Hey, but real quick, hey Brandon, real quick, I'm gonna give a shout out to Mason Brantley. Mason Brantley came in the bowling one Saturday at where was they bowling at? Plum Hollow Lanes. No practice. Flushed them the first ball. Came high with the second ball. Left the 4-pin. Changed balls and threw the next 34. With no practice. He was just coming back from a tournament, and he was 4-pin, changed balls. This was no and sheeted from there 880.
Speaking of Mason Brantley, Bowtie Brandon, that's another one you need to get on the show because that kid.
I already talked to him. I talked to him.
Okay,
already.
all right. Because you want to talk about somebody that got game? That's another one. I know he can put some work in his game. He got game.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Now, I honestly cannot remember. I don't believe I have ever shot a 300 game without any shadow balls, but I have shot 800 with tonsillitis, if that counts.
And tonsillitis, you wasn't yelling at the snack bar.
No, my brother, boy, I had a knot on my neck. Yeah. Right. It looked like I actually had something that I was holding right here in my throat the whole time. Boy, that neck was fat. But yep, shot 800 with tonsillitis. I can actually give a shout out to my club member, Corey Willis. He got there so late that he actually had to make up the first 3 frames. You know, this is when they actually had like a clause where you can make up frames, like the first 5 frames.
Yeah.
Friday Night League, where he bowled with his mom and dad. He comes in, I think he had to make up the first 3 frames, so of course no practice there. 4-pin spare, next 10, another 4-pin spare. After that, 24 in a row. So he shot 79, Trey, 879 with no practice.
Wow.
Not only with no practice, but having to make up the first 3 frames, like boot, 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 and then get into the groove that everybody else is, like a 5-person team. I thought that was one of the most amazing feats back in the day that anybody could ever do. Because it's like, man, just to come in these days now at my age, I need that. I need that practice bad just to get everything going and loose. It's like I got to do some Billy Blanks kicks or something to actually get going.
Hey, Brandon, it's nice having these stories, man, and you know, and giving people their props, man, and getting a chance to, you know, talk about others, you know, and I'm good at giving people they do, man. And I'm telling you, real quick, to me, you know, I know this don't got nothing to do with the question, but the greatest story in bowling history to me, this is just me personally, was Billy Oatman. And I don't know if you heard the story about him at the Hamtramck Singles.
No.
The year that he won, he left I forget what he shot the first game, maybe 240, 250. He left a 6-8 split in the second game in the 10th frame. You know, that's like the 4-9 for a right hand. 6-8. And before he shot it, he said, damn, man, I got to make this and then strike and then shoot back-to-back 300s in order for me to take the lead. He cut in the 6-8, struck, and then gave him back-to-back 300s to win the tournament, $25,000 by less than 10 pins. Now, you tell me a story. Somebody tell me a story that knowing you got to make the 6-8 before you don't make the 6-8, he can't get enough score to take the lead. with back-to-back 300s. Tell me a story better than that.
Man, and
Hey, look,
classic
hey, let me
Billy
guess.
Oatman.
And let me guess, he was throwing the blue hammer.
I don't know what he was trying.
Classic Billy Oatman. Classic Billy
I know he had.
Boy.
I know that blue hammer was somewhere close when he did it.
Hey,
Billy O was a bad brother. I can tell you one story. Of course, it's not, as interesting and exciting as an achievement as that one. But man, we were at this it was called the Eric DeFreitas Classic. It was a singles classic with a similar format to the down in Atlanta. Canadian club singles. Back in East Point, AMF Triangle Lanes, where they first started it. We didn't finish bowling our first 10 games, the qualifying round on Saturday. And there's this other gentleman in Atlanta, Georgia, by the name of Mark Dyson. They're doing jackpot bowling. And Mark Dyson was like really super smooth, didn't do a whole lot to the ball at all, super accurate. He was tough as nails. And he was on his game that day. And Billy wasn't even worried about bowling. He down there with his people from Chicago, talking, eating shrimp, and doing whatever they doing, laughing, joking. And then after Mark had lit him up in the jackpots, he started hollering out, "I'll take on anybody in this house." And Billy heard him, and it's like he wasn't even worried about bowling. And you know how Billy got that little bop when he walked, He bopped his way on down there to Mark. And before he could even say anything to Mark said, "Oh, no, not you. And Billy said, "I just heard you holler out anybody in this house, man. What's up? So he said, "Okay, I'll give you some pot games. But the only ball that you can throw is that Black Knight." That might date you, Brandon, but y'all remember that Columbia Black Knight bowling ball?
Yeah, with the knight on it, that thing goes straight as an arrow. Straight
as an arrow. It's like one small step above a spare ball. I used to have one too, so I know exactly what it was. He said, "Okay, I'll give you some pot games, but that's the only ball that you can throw." Billy said, "Bet." And they playing probably for about 500 a game. Billy come out the box with that Black Knight off the 3-board 79 tray.
Wow.
And we all gathered around now because we like, is that really what he's throwing? Is he really putting those scores up like that? So then I think that third game, Mark got him like 257, 247, something like that. Right after that, Billy go back-to-back 260s, like 269, 268. Mark packed up his shit and left. Right after he got done hollering, "I'll take on anybody in the house," Billy then ran him out the bowling alley. Boy, that Billy is a bad bro. That's one of the baddest brothers I've ever seen.
Yeah, without a doubt.
My greatest story to tell is White Chocolate. If y'all know who White Chocolate is from Chicago, y'all know who I'm talking about. White Chocolate. At Billy's tournament, he was nowhere near the cut. He went 300, 279, and made it to the top 5. If y'all know who I'm talking about,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know White who I'm talking about.
Gotta look that up.
Come on, Stroker, who I'm talking about, man.
I know who you're talking about.
who I'm talking about, Stroker.
I know who White Chocolate is.
I gotta look that one up.
You got me on that one.
Look, Derek Hyde say, "How do you give advice to bowlers that know it all?"
You don't.
You don't.
That's my team. That's my teammate and co-worker there too. D Hodge, what's up, brother? And exactly what all these other brothers just said. I'm like, hey, if you know it all, then what you need some advice from me for? You stand back and let them see if they really do know it all, and show you if they really do know it all. And 9 times out of 10, they don't. He must be talking
about Godfrey then. If that's Godfrey's partner, he must be talking about Godfrey when he put that question up there.
I don't think he's talking about me, but I got a pretty good idea in my mind of who he could be talking about, because we got a few know-it-alls around town in St. Louis. Well, we ain't gonna name no names on that category.
Oh, everybody got those. So.
The know-it-alls.
Yeah, everybody got the know-it-alls.
The know-it-alls that I absolutely love are the ones that can tell all of us how to improve our game but they averaging $164. I'm like,
Right.
why don't you apply some of that knowledge to your own skill set?
Right.
Jordan.
Hey, my question is, hey, what
up,
y'all think
Jordan?
about this guy right here? What y'all think about that guy, Jordan Horns?
Phenom.
Phenom. One of the most talented bowlers I've ever seen.
Absolute phenom, man.
Phenom.
The way that he can actually mimic himself, you wonder whether or not you actually is it a mirror? Is it a mirror that's splitting the lane? Because it's like I just saw him do this.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, man.
And then 3 frames later, he's doing this. And
Unbelievable.
striking just as strong. I never seen anybody that can just flip it on and off like a light switch like that. It's amazing.
He worked on his attitude. He can't be beat.
I totally agree with that.
I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that.
We got to work on his attitude. He can't be beat.
Work on that attitude.
Good advice, Stroker.
I can tell him that, and he don't mind hearing the truth from me, and he know it. He can't be beat. If he work on his attitude, you can't beat him. You can't shut him out.
Can't shut him out.
You can't shut him out. Throw it from both sides. You can't shut him out.
You can't shut him out.
The only thing that can shut him out is Jordan Horns. That's it.
Yep, that's the only one.
Pretty much.
George, we saying that to you, boy, because we love you.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes,
I
sir.
love you, boy. I'm telling you.
Yes,
We're in
sir.
your corner. We ain't talking about you. We're talking to you.
Yeah.
There you go. That's love.
Fix that attitude, boy. You a beast on the lane for real.
I wish I had 1/10 of his talent.
That's love. That's love in its truest form. When somebody telling you what you need to know and not what you want to hear.
Right.
That's it.
Hey, Eric Lee said, our thoughts about learning how to keep score versus the computer doing it for yourself, doing it for you. I hear from a lot of bowlers that do not know how. Hey, this one right here, I don't know how to keep score by hand.
Very interesting question. Very interesting question.
You ain't old enough, Brandon.
Yeah, he is.
You ain't old enough.
Hey, look. He never got his hand burned on that light.
Man, with them yellow wax pencils when you use that to keep scoring, show up on the bright light telescope.
Hey, Ron,
exactly.
He ain't bowled against people that went in the bathroom and stayed there for 40 minutes and came back out and wrote them down their own 5-bagger. Yeah, he ain't did none of that.
Man.
You don't know nothing about that, boy. You don't know nothing about that telescope stuff right there, boy.
But to answer that question, the only thing that I can say nowadays with everything automatic is you kind of got to do like a reverse engineering type thing. You got to let the automatic score add the score up, and then you ask somebody, okay, how did it calculate? Can you figure out how you actually got to the score that it got to? And besides that, all I can say is that Google bowling, how to keep score. How to keep scoring bowling. Yeah.
Hey,
Google, that's the encyclopedia these days.
I'm gonna tell y'all what. I did that to my girls. I put a sample game on a piece of paper and had them try to figure out how to do the final score. And boy, you would have thought I gave them the final exam without any possibility of it's like, hey, this is your final exam and you can't study for it. And it was like, boy, by the time they just said forget it, they just threw the paper away. Not one of them finished it.
Hey, here's a question for y'all right here. Hey, what's your funniest bowling story on or off the lanes?
That's a you might have to come back
right there.
My funniest is off the lanes, bowling in the, because I like always bringing things back to the TNBA. Bowling the Canadian club one year, at Ann and Rod's place in Cleveland, and me and my man, this guy, he's so successful now, Mike Stout. I don't know if any of all y'all know Mike Stout.
I remember the name.
You know Mike Stout. He owns K&R Industries.
Wow.
Bowling bag.
Okay. All right.
Me and Mike Stout both missed the cut one year, and we both were some gamblers. So we both figured, hey, we got to try to make some money. And we was after each other. Me and him went in the parking deck and had a deck of cards. And me and him in there playing heads up blackjack for probably about an hour or two. Me and my man Mike Stout. Yeah, like you said, he's successful, man. That's my funny bowling story. We missed that cut. We was like, we got to somehow get some money, and we was going to try to get it off each other. And blackjack in the parking deck at the Canadian Club at Ambassador Lanes.
On the parking lot.
In the parking deck. In the parking deck. They had two stores.
They sure did. They sure did at Ambassador Superior.
Yep.
My thing is, my story, I got two. One, I was dressed up. I had my top hat on. I forgot where I was going, but I was all dressed up. And I forgot my shoe cover on. Man, and sometimes I get the tendency of walking a little faster than normal. Man, I must have hit that foul line, and that shoe cover stuck like it's supposed to, dude. And by the time I knew it, my top hat was at the foul line, my body was at the arrows, and I'm sitting there looking at it. But the bad thing is, when I let the ball go, I went flying like Superman. So I'm on the lane, looking at my ball go down the lane. I was like, man, that's a good shot. But dude, I'm like, I'm looking at that. So when I finally get up, feeling embarrassed, I turn around and look at everybody like, nobody see me with my shoe cover on. All y'all just let me go up there, look like Boo Boo the Fool, and hurt myself.
I've seen that every time.
Especially if you had a top hat on to top it all off.
Dude, I'm telling you, the top hat didn't foul, just me. Yeah. The second one is, I don't know what happened. This day of bowling, it was Sunday afternoon, bowling league. I go look, that's what my feet did. Left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I had to figure out those last 2 steps to try to get myself to slide. And I'm only a 5-step pro, so I'm sitting there and everybody was like, Brandon, when did you start doing that? I said, dude, I have no idea. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know where it came from. And I'm sitting there, I'm telling you, dude, it took all 3 games I did that. And I was so frustrated. It was 1, 2, and then there was like that 4, 5 slide. And I was like, Brandon, what the hell is this? To this day, I couldn't answer what happened, what I was looking at, where my mind was, nothing. My feet had a mind of its own that day, and it would not let me go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just would not.
The ghost of Fred Flintstone took over, huh?
Hey, Godfrey, I promise you he did, because there was no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, dude. I promise you, it was probably about 12 steps.
So his new name is Brandon Twinkle Toes Grant.
Twinkle Toes.
Going live with Twinkle Toes. Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
So Ron, you the comedian today. You the comedian today.
Right.
Hey, but for real, it's that the funny. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I think we all can go back and think about some funny times on and off the lane, and I don't really have one that really stands out. But I'm gonna tell you, the God honest truth, the one that I can think about right now is if you just rewind back to last Thursday with that bowling rant last week. I mean, hey guys, I'm telling y'all, I have literally looked at that at least 15 times. And I'm laughing at it as if it was the first time I ever heard it, man. Boy, if you never nailed anything, you nailed that last week. And for me, that's by far the funniest.
And the funny thing about that is when I actually went to look back at it, after I looked at it myself, I told people, because I probably ended up watching it more times than Ron. I would say, if you want a hell of a laugh, okay, watch it and then watch what I'm doing and watch the whole screen, watch everybody on the panel Then after you watch it that one time, go back and watch it again right after that, and don't look at nobody but Ron. Just watch Ron all the way through the whole thing, because man, Ron just lost it. It was just so funny just to watch the way that he was just falling. Ron was in stitches, and I'm in my moment. I'm having my little comedic moment, but just watching the way Ron was laughing just had me laughing at it just as hard. I kept watching it just to look at him.
I was literally crying.
That was fun. Yeah, right. Just watching Ron was funny.
Hey, Robert Bradley asked, what changes need to be made with TNBA?
Well, he's trying to get serious now.
He's
trying to get serious.
Yeah, he got serious on that one.
Yeah, he got serious on that one.
You know what, Ron? I'm gonna go. Far as I'm not sure of what changes need to be made, but I'm gonna tell you, accountability, and all of us are responsible. We owe it to Bill Rodman. We owe it to Bill Hawthorne. Elbert Sims, Gloria McKinney. In my region, we owe it to them to promote it in a better fashion than what we're doing. Like I bowl in a semi-senior league on Wednesday nights at Thunder Bowl. I don't know if we're gonna bowl this year, but we got 54 teams of senior bowlers. Wow. It's a mixed league. It's 3 men and 2 women. The women have to be 45 and the men have to be 50. And we got 54 teams. And out of all them 54 teams, I can think of maybe 5 guys that bowls in the senior Rodman when it comes to Super Bowl in March.
Wow.
And I promoted. I asked these people, I'm like, hey man, you can win. But it doesn't even matter if you win. You need to come in and promote. You have to come and participate in these tournaments. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense for all for years and years. These people packing up people after people and going bowling the USBC Nationals and going bowling the Hoinky and go back. They go bowling the Industrial and y'all bowl. But what about the TNBA? The TNBA should be the most important tournament on your schedule every year. The Rodman, the Canadian Club, the TNBA National, those should be the most important tournaments on your schedule all year long. And we just can't get the people to participate, man. I don't know what changes need to be made, but I think it's more of an accountability from us to push. We got to push these people to bowl, man. It makes no sense. They have, and the sad part about it is, because I was thinking about this all last week, is so many people don't even understand what the TNBA represents and why the TNBA was established. I felt kind of bad with Jalen on yesterday and him not knowing the history of the TNBA. But, he's young and it's up to us to teach him. But to not know your history, you got to know your history before, we got to be accountable for each other, man. That TNBA should be the Rodman is the most important tournament I've ever won. As many tournaments I've won and big tournaments, none of them stand out more than the Rodman because it means that much to me. No tournaments can ever take the place of me winning the Bill Rodman. The TNBA should be the most important tournament on your schedule, and during the entire year, it should be all about the TNBA. That should be the most important tournament on your schedule. And we, like I said, accountability, man. It's up to us to do it. It ain't gonna just happen overnight. We got to do something.
Yeah. To piggyback off of what Stroker just said, reading the history, and I had to read it again. Shout out to Kenny Robbins for sending that to me again, because I knew a little bit of the history, but to know it started here, right here in my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio, really touched me today. I was like, wow. 1939, it started right here in my own backyard, and it made that win even bigger for me for the senior tournament. Made it even bigger because for me, the Hawthorne tournament was the biggest tournament on my schedule every year since 1998. That's how I met my brother Ron, Godfrey, Stroker. I mean, that was the biggest tournament for me, period. I've always started training. I put myself like in a training program from November to February every year. I mean, every year. So the history is rich for TNBA, and we must push it forward. Must push it forward. I mean, from the youth on to the seniors, because, like I said, once again, this tournament was so important to me. I just couldn't understand why Cleveland bowlers would not participate. We will only have maybe a total of 12 guys participating from the Cleveland area participated in the tournament, and I just couldn't understand that. You got 500 bowlers in the bowling alley, and you got 8 guys from Cleveland. Just couldn't understand that. No matter if you bowled bad or good, it was about the participation in your history. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
You want to go,
Anybody?
Ron, or you want me to go?
I'm gonna pull up the reel on this one because y'all know me on this one. I'm gonna pull up the reel. I promise you, I won't be long.
Okay, and I'm gonna try my. Oh, Bowtie losing the signal.
You losing, you Bowtie.
Hey, we can go on without him. We don't need him.
Go ahead, Godfrey.
Come on, Godfrey.
Okay. And also to piggyback off of what Stroker said, very important. The Rodman, when I got my first taste of the Southern Rodman Classic in 1993, I knew that was exactly where I was supposed to be. I knew that was where I wanted to be. And I said then and there, and then the very first time I actually participated in the Rodman, bowled terrible. I don't know if it was nerves or just I didn't know enough about the game to actually know how to make the type of adjustments to be good, but I was terrible at it. But I told myself then, before it's all said and done, I am going to win this tournament. Fast forward to now, I've won it 3 times. I actually take that whole vacation week off for the Rodman because that's the one I gotta win. Learning that history like Stroker and Mo were talking about. Knowing what the organization comes from and why, what it was born out of. Right. We do need to market and promote that. We do need to get that in the heads of the young people. And that was part of the reason why when we touched on it last week, I was saying, offering an idea on how to get the young people involved. But another good idea, and then from watching Ryan's solo show way back, I remember him talking about, I think it was the Nationals that was either in Fort Lauderdale or St. Petersburg. And he said it was a woman that walked in the bowling center and looked at all these black bowlers in there and said, who are all these people? And, she didn't even know what was going on, let alone what the, tournament that actually brought all these people together stood for. And to add to that, way back when I was trying to help out the St. Louis Senate way back in the day before I started working for the post office and working on the weekends, I actually did a little survey myself to actually ask people, what would it take in order for you to want to know a little bit more about TNBA and maybe possibly participate in the meetings and the tournaments, et cetera, et cetera? I remember 64% of the people that answered that survey just said knowing a little bit more about it. Because I had stuff on there like ball raffles, a free entry to a tournament, getting your membership paid for. All of that stuff got outpaced by a full length by the answer. Just tell me more about it. Just tell me what you're talking about. Tell me what we're doing. Let me know where we came from, where we're going. Just introduce it to me and let me know why I should be a part of it. So that right there, I think those are the changes that need to be made. And then one last one, and then I'm gonna let Ryan bring on up the rear. From watching Wanda's solo show, we were talking about the virtual delegates last week on her show. I remember talking about a think tank. I made the top 5 at the Reed Hawthorne. Congrats again to Mo, 2020 senior champion. And if you've ever made the top 5 at a TNBA tournament, they have like the little briefing before the step ladder finals start. And I remember our national director of tournaments, Miss Debbie Lewis. Hi, Debbie, if you're out there, she was saying, if you've had a good experience, help us. So that goes to what Stroker just said. We got to hold ourselves accountable in terms of marketing and promotion. If we had a good experience at a TNBA tournament, tell other people about that good experience that we had, and maybe that might bring some more people back into the fold or into the fold if they didn't know about it, and maybe we can start to get the marketing and promotion back on the right track. And maybe these youngsters that we're trying to get into the fold can be the ones to tell us how to market and promote to their age bracket. We know how to market and promote to us. We got to figure out how to market and promote to them, because they're the ones that's going to have to take this over.
Right.
There you go.
Well,
I'm back
for
now,
me-
right? Y'all can hear me?
You back.
Good?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
Back and crystal
Good.
clear.
All
We
right.
was
You good to go.
holding it down without you.
Oh, I know. I heard you. I was like, when I heard
We
that,
got-
I was
we
like,
got your
hey,
back.
I got to go park. Hold on. Let me get my cat in the mood.
Come on, Ron.
Come on,
Well,
Ryan.
God-
I know you got something good to say.
You already know, bro. But Godfrey you hit one thing that I was going to talk about, because I actually was about to talk about that same story.
The
That
woman in
happened
Florida.
Yeah, the one in Florida. That one I'll never forget that, man. This lady walked in and she just like stopped in her tracks, like, where all these black folk come from? You know, so but the reality, I mean, we know TNBA is no longer all about black folk. It ain't just the black. It's still labeled as the black organization, but
True.
I don't care. Color don't matter. And quite honestly, you could be a TNBA member. You don't even have to be a bowler.
Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of folk don't even realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Just being a part of the organization. You don't have to be a bowler to be a part of this organization. That's number one. But one thing I did want to say, Mo, you said 1939 is when. Don't you know? Actually, TNBA came about in 1937, 2 years prior. 1939 was the first year they actually had the first tournament. But 37 is the year that TNBA actually came about.
Wow.
That was the first year that they actually, started TNBA. But to what changes need to be made? Number one, we got to get younger. I talked about that last time. The organization has to get younger, not just on the bowling lanes, but in the convention, in our local senates. And to speak about the local senates, that's where it starts from. We need our local senates to get a little bit younger so that they can reach the younger generation so that we can get more membership. Because this is a membership-driven organization. Without the members, we don't have no organization. That's just got to be real about it. So the membership, this is a membership-driven organization. We got to get the information out there. Then once we get them in the door, we have to be professional. We have to be professional in everything we do. I think everybody that runs a tournament or works in a tournament needs to have some type of customer service training. Because if you don't have customer service, trust me, they're not coming back. Okay? You might not agree. Now, let's think about, you go to a store, if they don't give you good service, do you go back? No. Okay? And so it's the same thing with TNBA. If somebody comes to one of our tournaments and they don't get treated in a respectful way, I'm not saying they right or wrong. I mean, that's going to happen, but we still, how do we treat them? How do we treat them as they are a customer? So you have to treat them with respect in a certain way because you need them to come back. So we have to have that. The other thing we got to do, we got to be transparent. Okay. When you got brackets, you got pot games, whatever you got going on, be transparent. Okay. Next thing we got to do, it says TNBA Incorporated. That tells me it's a business. So the leaders of TNBA, you cannot treat this as if this is just, we just get together and we talk about some things, and it's a business. You got to get your personal feelings out the way. If right is right, wrong is wrong. And if we don't treat it as a business, you got to get your personal feelings. How I feel about you don't matter when it comes to the business of TNBA. So we got to get the personal feelings out the way and make sure we focus on the business of TNBA. Okay, I'm gonna love you when it's all said and done, but I ain't gonna always agree with you. Okay, and so if what you're doing, I feel like is not gonna benefit the organization, I gotta be strong enough to say so. Now, I'm not gonna say it in a disrespectful way, but I also got to be honest with you. If I don't agree with what you're doing, I don't think that's gonna be a benefit to the organization. It ain't got nothing to do with whether or not I love you or not. This is business. Okay, and so that TNBA's growth has been stunted in a lot of ways and a lot of times because people's personal feelings get in the way of business decisions. So we got to do that. And then the last thing I got is, and that struggle you already talked about, is accountability. You know, we got to be accountable. We got to be accountable to teach people about the history. We got to be accountable to one another about how we run the business. We got to be accountable to our customers, who are the bowlers, because we need them to come back. Our tournaments is, to me, there is no other tournament on the earth that compares to a TNBA tournament. And yes, I am biased, but I just think some of the best tournaments in the world happen at TNBA, because that atmosphere that we get, you can't duplicate that nowhere. You know, the only other tournament I would say that, and that's a whole different ball game, but that's BC Nationals. I would say that's another area of it. But when you come to a TNBA tournament, it's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the energy that we get from it, man, it's just, I mean, we can't get there fast enough, just because not only do we love the bowl, but it's the people, the relationships. We can't lose that.
Yeah,
we can't lose. And we got to build on that. We got to build. That's why the four of us are able to, the five of us, I'm sorry, are able to come on here and talk about this, is because TNBA created an atmosphere that we can learn and love one another, compete against each other hard. I mean, like, I ain't rooting for you while I'm bowling against you, but I love you just the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what we do in that atmosphere, man. That's what keeps us coming back. So we got to build on that. All right, I'm done. I know, I'm sorry, but y'all
Hey,
know
no
how.
problem, bro. That's the way to bring it up. That's the way to
right.
bring up the rear. TNBA is the reason why I know all of you gentlemen.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
y'all the best of the best when it comes to competition. The path that bowling has kept me on, TNBA is a huge part of that.
Huge.
So, you know, I don't want to ever see it go anywhere. I do want to see it get bigger and better. But we do have to learn how to change. Just everything else changes. Everything else evolves. We got to change and evolve just like everything else.
Did Brandon, you back with us yet?
Yeah, he back with us. I think eventually,
Yeah, we got
I think one thing we need to do, though, and I think I mentioned it last night on Jalen's show last night, is that I think we need to have some type of a Zoom, especially in this day and age right now, with everything so up in the air with COVID and everything. But I think this is a great time where TNBA can use Zoom and stuff like that to create a platform where people can talk, where people can share about TNBA, get information about TNBA. I think this will be a golden time right now to just have a Zoom. Get folk on there, just so that we can share not only the history of TNBA, but give people an opportunity to vent or ask questions or just get some understanding about what's going on with TNBA and what we need to do, and hear from the people, you know, be able to hear from, and then the people can hear from the leaders to understand what, because everything that's happening behind the scenes, a lot of folk ain't gonna understand. They don't know, you know. But okay, all right, I'm done. I'm putting myself on mute.
That's a great idea, though. That really is a great idea. You know, we've already laid the foundation for something like that on, say, the website. I've always said from the very beginning, you know, what instead of actually people having to, you know, have a pamphlet or a brochure or a book or a magazine or a newspaper put in front of them in order to learn about TNBA, what if they could just click on that website and, hello, I'm President DeJuan Clark, or hello, I'm Vice President Michael Boykins, or all of them put together like you got all five of us here, Doc, President Clark, Debbie, Harvey, you know, new Reed Hawthorne director, all of them. You know, we have a narrative and all of that good information is being laid out with somebody that's really good at videography and knows how to splice all of these different scenes. You know, like what you see when you watch a news program or a documentary, and just have them lay out as thanks for watching. We hope that you will consider being a part of our organization. Like Ron just said, you don't have to necessarily be a bowler. You just got to know about the organization and what it's trying to do. So, you know, we got to come into the new millennium. We got to come into 2020. That's the only way that we're going to be able to remain viable with all of the bowlers and people in general across the board.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, we're going to get off a little serious. We're going to go back to some funny stuff. Making the Step Ladder TV final. What song you coming out to?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
I
know mine.
If I make the Step Ladder TV final, what song I'm coming out to? My man, rapper Mystical. The man right chip.
That's a good one. That's a good one, brother.
That's a good one.
Somebody said you were looking for me. I like that one, Stroker. Yeah, that's a good
I like that one.
Man, I had already, you know, when they first started putting music to the introduction for the PBA step ladder finals, when they were introducing them at the beginning of the show, that was what made me ask myself that question. Song I'm coming out to, Here I Come by The Roots. Y'all know Jimmy Fallon's house band now, The Roots. The Roots got a long history and a huge catalog of music, and I've been a Roots fan for the longest. But man, the first minute of that song, the drum line and the beat in that song, you talking about hype. Man, they said, Jay, you better come out with your hands up. We got you surrounded. I'm in the back changing my outfits. They said, Blink, we gonna send the hounds in. I said, wait, because here I come. Here I come. Here I come. You boys be ready. Here I come. Man, that is my hype. I put that on whenever I need to get hype about bowling, man, and that just get me in it automatically. When as soon as you get off of Bowtie's YouTube channel, type Here I Come by The Roots in the search engine and just listen to the first minute of it. Man, that's a hype song. That would be my theme song right there. And I'd be coming out just like that. Like I'm on the Big Lebowski or something.
What you got, Big Mo? What you got for me?
I have to come out with Anthony Anthony Peck. Don't I make it the song is Come Down. The name of the song is named Come Down, but the lyrics, man, don't I make it look easy? Don't I make it look good?
Yeah, bro.
See, that's why I like that. That's why I like that question. I'm a music man, so now I got to Google that. Anthony Peck, Come Down. I'm ready to hear it.
That's right.
Oh wow.
Made it look easy in February, brother.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Oh, wow. I'm struggling with this. I got two. I'm gonna go spiritual on y'all the first time around. Never would have made it. To probably one song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna take us
Never
to
would have
church?
made it. Yeah, man. But then I'm gonna go back to my back in the day joint because I was an Eric B. and Rakim kid. So
I think I know what you're gonna
soul,
say,
baby. I got soul.
Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be in here.
This ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands.
Hey, man, there it is. Check it out.
Hey, I thought you were going to say Eric B. and Rakim, I ain't no joke.
I ain't no joke.
I ain't no joke at first either.
To let the mic
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Now slam it with them done and make sure it's broke.
That's it. Now that's you. Thank you, Stroker. That's the one right there. That's the one right there.
I ain't no
But it
joke.
really didn't matter. If it was Eric B. and Rakim, I was good with it. It don't matter. That's my boy right there.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, myself, I'll come out and put on for my city because I never, ever, it don't matter where I am, I'm always repping from where I'm from. So I put on for my city.
That's what's up.
Right. That's
Good one, good one.
That's a good one.
I like this, man. I'm loving it.
Right.
Me too.
This for
All
Mo.
right.
Can you talk a little bit about your t-shirts and other merchandise? Do you have a website?
Yes, I do. Mo Better Bowlers brand. You know, I got the t-shirts in the back. I've been doing customized t-shirts for a while now. It's growing fast. It's been going fast. I got my own sanitizer now. I just sent Ron some. It's moving. It's moving. The website is Mo Better Bowlers Apparel on Winks. So go and check me out. But other than that, Mo Better Bowlers. Yeah, we got a great website on Facebook. We got close to 1,000 followers on there. We share a lot of information, share a lot of tournament information. I'm always sharing a tip on Tuesday from bowlers this month. I always give a tip out there on Tuesday. So come and check us out, man. We got a lot of information that we share on Mo Better Bowlers, for sure.
There you go.
Good stuff.
Hey, this is one of our youth that I talked to yesterday, Jalen Mosley.
What up,
What up,
Jalen?
Jalen?
How did we get introduced to TNBA, and what made us start bowling?
I'll take.
start with that.
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
start
Ray.
with I got introduced to TNBA when I first got out of. As soon as I got out of junior leagues, we had 100% TNBA league. So in order for you to bowl in the league, you had to be a TNBA member. That league is still in existence here, and so that's how I got introduced to TNBA. And then out of that league, I had some bowlers that introduced me to the political side of bowling. And that's why because of that league and the members in that league, I ended up becoming the president of our local senate. And now I'm still here doing the political side of bowling. And so that's how I got introduced.
Well, I got introduced to the TNBA by Reggie Denard and Edwin Pert because they were bowling in the Bill Rodman tournament. And I was like, what is that, man? I was like, I want to bowl in that one day. And I got introduced by those guys. And like I said, the Bill Rodman tournament, man, means everything to everybody in the Detroit area. I mean, there's no bigger tournament for us was the Bill Rodman tournament. And then I got introduced, and then I heard about the Cleveland tournament, and then it was on from there, man. It was on. I don't think I've ever missed. I might have missed 1 year for work, but I bowled in so many Canadian clubs and Reed Hawthorns, and I have never missed the Rodman. The only years that I missed bowling in the Bill Rodman tournament when I became a senior, you couldn't bowl until they had a rule you couldn't bowl until you were 55. So for 5 years, I sat back and watched Ben Hoss. I don't know if y'all know him.
I know him.
Yeah.
He won the senior division in the Central region like 9 out of 10 years. And I was so pissed about not being able to bowl against him before he actually retired. But I mean, I think he moved to another region or whatever, but yeah, I got introduced by Edwin Pert and Reggie Denard introduced me to the TNBA.
Okay. Big Mo?
Billy Hawthorne introduced me to the tournament. I bowled my first tournament was in 1998. He introduced me to it, and I bowled well for the first time. Won a couple jackpots. I didn't cash, but that's how I met, Ron and Stroker and Godfrey, watching these guys. I still remember when Ron made the top 5, man. That's how I met Ron, when he made the top 5, and we became friends, good friends, man.
Yeah,
and
I remember that myself, man. That was one of my highlights right there.
Right.
Highlights in bowling is that
Billy. Me and Billy were really, really, really close, man. I used to pick him up, man. He was like my sponsor at one time, man. Going to Akron tournaments and stuff like that, and we would get it in, man. That a lot of those people who were sitting, bowlers who were sending their entries in, I had put their names on the list because I used to sit in that kitchen and help them put the schedule together and stuff like that. Who were on the lanes together and stuff like that. So a lot of people don't know that, but yeah. Me and Billy was really, really, really close late in the years.
Yeah, Didn't know that. Didn't I know that about you, Mo?
Yeah.
Billy was a great guy, man. Bill Hawthorne was a great guy.
Yeah. If you want to shoot at a spare, shoot at the one that's up. Y'all remember he used to say that before every squad when he's talking about practice? I only throw one ball at a time. If you want to shoot at a spare, shoot at the one that's up. But I actually got introduced to TNBA by local people because they would always be talking about the Rodman. And that was when I was a young pup. I started bowling adult leagues in 1989. And then by the time I was about 23, that was when they figured that I was or maybe even earlier than that. When I was about 21, that's when they started figuring that I would be good enough to participate in some scratch tournaments. And a lot of the bowlers would be, you going to the Rodman? You going to the Rodman? And I was like, what's the Rodman? They say it's a scratch TNBA tournament that we have in Memphis every year. And I would be like, I really didn't know that much about the Rodman. But, that was what everybody was always talking about. Like Stroker was saying. For a whole lot of the bowlers back in that era, back in the day, that was the most important tournament on the schedule. If you didn't make it to any other tournament, you made it to the Rodman. And that was how I actually got my feet wet. And then I started learning a little more about TNBA as the organization from the local Senate. Rest in peace to Miss Clara Jenkins. She was the local Senate president back when I first got my first TNBA membership, and man, you talking about somebody that rode hard for TNBA. And all of the people that came behind her, Miss Clarenza Davis, Pam Leon, who's still a secretary, Vicky Peterson, Roy Oliver, Gail Mitchell, all of those people from way back in my younger days. We used to have Senate award banquets. We used to have all of the different tournaments around town, you know, Battle of the Sexes, the local tournament that was kind of set up to be, you know, kind of mimic the regional handicap tournaments where you had singles, doubles, team, strike pots, best ball tournaments, all of it. And back when Miss Clara was the Senate president, you know, our national president was Perry Daniels. You know, rest in peace to Perry. You know, I think that he was one of the people that we lost due to this pandemic that we're going through earlier in the year. But he was originally from St. Louis. A lot of people probably thought that he was from Texas. But yeah, Perry Daniels is originally from St. Louis. Same alumni. We went to the same high school. So, you know, that was how I got introduced to it way back in the day by all of the bowlers that were in the building, because that was where you had to be if you were somebody as a bowler at a TNBA event.
Well, like I said, I got introduced by bowling a league, and it was a TNBA league. And it's like, hey, in order to bowl this league, you got to be a TNBA member. And I was like, what's that? So, you know, they kind of broke it down. Like, they have these different tournaments and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I was like, fine. And I joined that league. And then I kind of, you know, just, it was like, hey, it's a tournament, wherever it was. I was like, okay. And when I went to this tournament, I seen everybody and their mama. I was like, dude, I didn't know all these people bowl. And I was like, man, these are the same people I bowl league with, or I see around the different bowling alleys in my area. They all part of this, and they ain't never told me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just kind of just fell in my lap that way. But, you know, I'm glad that I did get a chance to be a part of it.
Most definitely.
Hey, Brandon Johnson asks, have any of you legends ever tried duck pin or candle pin bowling?
Not me.
Haven't.
No.
I haven't.
No.
You know, as a matter of fact, I've never even seen anywhere that it was offered.
Right.
Yeah, I've never seen duck pin or candle pin bowling in my city.
Yeah,
What up, Brandon?
I saw it once, but I didn't participate in it.
Well, I'm gonna say I have, because we had duck pin bowling centers here in Richmond, and so I hate that game. You can straight up throw the ball down the middle of the lane, hit the head pin, and only knock down 2 pins. It is really hard.
Oh, so it's a tough game.
Oh, it's not. It's if you average 150, you are like somebody averaging 250 and 10 pin.
And they say candle pin is just as tough or even tougher. Candle pin. I've actually watched a couple of candle pin tournaments on YouTube. Candle pin is really tough.
Yeah,
those
both of them.
little bitty super thin pins that look like sticks. That is hard. And that little bitty ball that's like a crow. What is it? What's the name of the sport? Croquet. Croquet ball. Yeah, that's what they ball with. And I was like,
it's not an easy game. Trust me, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Never tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. Hey, Jalen asks, do you think bowlers, normally younger bowlers, use urethane balls as a crutch instead of actually throwing resin and trying to make shots?
Well, I mean, the reality of the situation is, as human beings, we have a tendency to want to lean towards the whatever's easiest.
Right.
You know, so you know, in this day and age, everybody's throwing urethane, and you know, with the rev rates and everything, it's for a lot of folk, they find it easier to use urethane. Now, the problem is, I think a lot of folk don't realize when they buy this urethane ball, especially you bowl on these tournaments, that one urethane ball ain't gonna do it for you, because the moment that the heads go, you in trouble.
Right.
So, you know, you get a little carried down or whatever, you in trouble. You know, the heads go, you're done. And so you better have. So a lot of folks look at the pros on TV throwing urethane. They don't realize they got about 4 or 5 of them. You know, so you buy that one you might be good for the first 5 or 6 frames, but after that, you're done.
Right.
Now, of course, again, a lot of these kids out here now, they with the higher rev rates, they can get away with a little bit more than somebody that doesn't have as much rev rate. But in some cases, I would say, yeah, people have used that more as a crutch. But there's a lot of tricks to the trade too. I mean, you can take a resin ball and make it act like you a thing, So there's a lot of tricks to the trade. It's just really about your game and what you know what works for you.
Right.
Yeah, I think Ron answered that perfect.
Absolutely. Let's see here. We got somebody had a question. Ooh. Why you want to know how old we are?
Hey, Sherry. Hey, Sherry was the one that asked the pet peeve question last week, wasn't it?
Yes, she is. She the one.
Yeah,
She's
same
the
one.
She's the culprit.
Remember that though, Godfrey. That was last week, bro. Why you remember who was
I just wanted to say hello to Miss Sherry because I remember that. Hey, Miss Sherry, I wasn't trying to get back on the pet peeve kick. Trust me. Or maybe for one. My baby mama keep texting me, and every time I get up on the approach, my watch buzz. That was just one more to add to the arsenal. Come up with the pet peeve bowling excuse tile.
Oh, man. Come on, man.
And they buzzed me while you was on the approach, letting you know your double cheeseburger ready.
If they really want to know, I'm 59. I'm getting ready to start murdering them super seniors in about another month.
Man.
Yeah.
Watch out, Rock. But you got your hands full with Mr. Leroy Johnson in that super senior division.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without Rock, that's my man. But
man.
I got a lot of other hobbies. I play a lot of golf, especially right now with what's going on with pandemic. But probably my other hobbies would probably be just playing a lot of golf right now.
There you go.
I am 50. I'm 50 years old. My hobby is making designs for T-shirts right now. So that's my hobby right now.
Big Ron,
I am also the big 5-0. Outside of bowling, I like music. Man, music is the backdrop for my life. I got music in the mail truck when I'm doing my deliveries. I'm researching some new music. That's the reason why, I like the question about what song you're going to come out to. Excuse me. Always listening to music. And outside of that, I wouldn't call it a hobby. I like cars. I'm looking into upgrading my home. And it's a few other things that I get into, but I would kind of say jack of all trades, master of none, unless what I master is the sport of bowling.
There you go. Big Ron, what you got?
For me, I'm 48. Looking forward to when I get to 50. I'm not rushing it, but when I get to 50, I'm looking forward to trying a few of those senior tour stops. That's just something that I've always wanted to do, but as far as my talents or hobbies, couple things for me. I do sing a little bit. I can hold a note for a couple seconds, and so I do a little singing at church. And my other hobby, really, which is something that has really kind of grew into another area of my life, is that I just love to encourage people. And so that's something that I'm passionate about. And just trying to push people to be a better version of themselves, and that's something that, that's if you want to call it a hobby, that's one of my hobbies. I just love encouraging people.
You good at it too, Ron.
Motivational speaking.
Good at it. Brandon,
that should be your next brand, man. Motivating the people out here, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, all y'all need to give me some
for it.
Y'all need to stop me some pins, young as y'all are.
No, the hell we don't.
Right. I'm not spotting you nothing.
Well, you need to spot me some pins.
Hey, we talked about them sandbaggers.
Right.
Hey,
right.
That freaking stroke will make me think about doing it, goddamn.
Right. Yeah, you get what you knock down.
-1.
Right.
Now, for myself, like I said, I'm 38. I do design shirts. have my own little, my own little thing. As fun, just like Mo, I get in the garage, man, and do my thing. I love music. Music is, man, it puts me in my own world. If you guys ever see a little video of me and I'm dancing or what have you, I love to dance, but I'm not a dancer, but I can be. If the price is right, I can be a dancer. I'm just, but no, man, I just love music. I love music, man. And I mean, from gospel to hip hop to R&B to country to jazz, I listen to it all. And depending on what kind of mood I am, like today, I listen to oldies all day, and it had me dancing and grooving and singing to myself, man. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Frankie Beverly.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Call the road, boy. Call the road.
So when you say old school, you old school. Based on your age, I thought you was getting ready to say Keith Sweat was old school. 702 and some groups like that.
No,
old school.
If you get in the car with me, bro, you liable to come in here. You gonna turn and look at me like, what you listening to over there?
I sure will. I'll be like, what you know about that?
Hey, man, I'm telling you, it put me in a different mode. And like I said, if you see me with some earbuds or something while I'm bowling, I might have some oldies on just jamming to myself, man. I'm telling you.
That's the way to be. That's the way to be.
It's something about music, though, man. Something about music just kind of puts you in a zone, man. And if you got the right music that's matching your vibe at the time, man, it's just something about that. It just makes the day go by a little bit smoother. Whatever you're dealing with at that moment just makes it a little bit easier. I find myself sometimes at work sitting at my desk grinding away. I put that music on, man. It just kind of just something about music, man. The music is important.
Man, that's what makes all of those complaints just melt away. You know, when I'm at work, that's what I got an iPod, and then it's like I've got every piece of music that I've ever bought in my entire life, with the exception of, letting somebody borrow something and they ain't give it back to me. So I learned real quick not to do that. And I've been buying music since I was 16. Smooth jazz, R&B, old school funk, hip hop. I got blues. Reggae, I got playlists for all of that in my iPod. So you set the mood.
Yep, there you go.
Hey, Sherry got a paragraph up here, fellas. So we gonna see.
Y'all still see me?
Look,
I'm trying to stay in the picture. Where you go, Mo? There you go.
Right here, y'all.
Man, hey, she say, look, you get a call from a tournament director saying they need one bowler, which is you, for a team, as you are in high demand. There are two teams that need a bowler, and each requested you. They don't know you, they just heard about your skills. You get to pick one team, but you can only ask one question to decide which team you select, other than asking who's on the team. What is your question?
Wow.
I don't even have a question for that, Brandon. Whoever asked first. I ain't, I'm not.
That was getting ready to be my question.
Yeah,
who asked first?
I'm not.
Who asked first? That's the only question that I'm asking.
Special. Whoever asked first. I can bowl with anybody.
I'm the same way.
Okay, well, I think we all got the same answer, because whoever asked first, I'm with you.
Whoever asked first.
About to sit there, whoever.
That's a hell of a question, though, man.
I'm sitting here just thinking, like, what would I ask? But I totally agree with every last one of y'all. I feel like I'm the type of person, I don't care who you are, as long as you throwing the ball down the lane and you give them effort. Now,
that's it.
If
do
you're
your
not
best.
Effort, then I got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
Do your best.
Yeah,
I've actually been thrown into that situation. I've been thrown into that situation a couple of times at TNBA tournaments, the handicap tournaments. They need a bowler. I just so happen to be in the building, and then here I come, and the rest of the team actually, I've been in a couple of situations where they actually felt intimidated. I'm like, relax and have fun.
That's
Don't act like I'm nobody special. Don't act like I'm no different from you, because I'm not different from you. Let's have some fun, bowl your best, and let the chips fall where they may. Don't get intimidated. Don't clam up on me. It's me.
You know what, Trip, thing about it, I tell you one quick thing that happened to me at a TNBA event. It was at the Eastern region. And we had our mixed doubles down there back in the day when we was at Carol Lee up in Jersey. And lady wanted to bowl. She wanted to bowl mixed doubles. I wanted to bowl mixed doubles. I ain't never met this lady a day before in my life. And she wrote down, she was like a $130 average. I was like, let's go. And she saw my average and she was like, oh. I said, look, we just going to go ahead here. We're going to make it do what it do. We're going to have some fun. Lo and behold, I ended up shooting 800. She shot a little bit over her average. We both got a check. Let's make it do what it do. You know,
I got a story real similar to that, Ron, at the TNBA Cornhusker Classic tournament in Omaha, Nebraska. That's real similar to our regional tournaments. And the first day, I wanted to bowl, but that's what was happening. All of the women were looking at me. He want to bowl. He want to bowl. What's his average? Oh, I can't bowl with him. If I mess up, he gonna be mad. No, I'm not. So then Sunday comes along. And here comes a sister. Her name was Gerald. Can't remember what her last name was, but she said, hey, I heard you looking for a bowler. My average is 185. I ain't the greatest bowler, but if you're ready to do this, let's do this. We get out there that first squad Sunday morning. I shoot 800, just like you did, Ron. Mm-hmm. And she shot 655 scratch. And we ended up winning the mixed doubles tournament that year. Man went and did it. It's like, just do your thing. You know, it's you and your ball. Don't act like I'm anybody special. Stay within yourself, bowl the best you can, and for as long as you bowling the best you can, that's all I care about.
That's right.
Hey, that's so funny because I got a story kind of like that. If you guys know Lorraine Page, she from here.
I've heard that name before.
Yep, and she works with Maryland. She's, I'd say, about 160 average, maybe. I don't know what her average is, but I know it wasn't very high. And she was like, boy, I ain't, she like a son, I'm not bowling with you, man. You da-da-da. I said, hey, Ma, come on, let's just go bowl. We got to go out here and just have fun. Man, we took, I think we were 3 or 4 pins we missed for first place. Took second. And dude, that made her bowling career. Like, she was like, she talks about that. We talk about it all the time. Because she was like, Brandon, I never would have thought. I said, hey, we just went out there and have fun. That's what it was. I'm not putting no pressure on you. All I want to do is go out there. If you try and I'm trying, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's it. That's all that matters. As long as you give an effort, we good.
Bowl your best. Get out there and bowl your best.
Hey, look, we got a question here. What PBA bowler would you like to bowl doubles with?
Oh, man, I got 2. I would like to bowl with Norm Duke and David Ozio.
Man, that's some good names there, man. It's back in the day. That's some good bowlers back in the day. I love the smoothest of both of them.
I got now. She said PBA bowlers, cause see, I ain't gonna lie to you. I got a female bowler I want to bowl with too. That's a pro.
Okay,
will always be a pro in my mind. And so I'm gonna cheat on this question a little bit.
It didn't say man or woman. It just said PBA bowler.
It said PBA, but this woman I'm about to talk about, that she never bowled on the PBA.
Oh, okay.
But, you know what I'm saying? But Kim Terrell Kearney.
Ooh.
That's one.
She was a PBA player.
And then the other one I want to bowl with, Brandon, you're gonna like this one.
No, don't say it, because that's who I'm rolling with. Don't say
I
it.
am sorry.
I'm
beating you to the punch. I'm beating you to the punch. George Branham III.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, I probably would like to bowl with Anthony Simonson, only because that's Jordan Horns' main man. That's his dude. So I wouldn't mind bowling with Simonson, man. He seemed like a crazy individual, but I would love to bowl with him.
You know, Simo, man, that's my little brother, man. I love him dearly, boy. Oh, I love that dude.
Wait a minute. Go ahead, Bowtie.
I'm like I said, I'm with Ron, dude. I want to bowl with George. I mean, with Branham III. That's who I would like to bowl with, man. It's like I said, not knowing who he was, it gives me that much more to be on the lane with him and get to know him.
He bowled in the Rodman, the Central Region, a few years ago. He bowled in the Rodman a few years ago, right before. I don't know if he had turned 50 yet, or I think the rules were still maybe 55. I think he was bowling in the regular division, but he bowled in the Rodman Central Region one year, a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And for me, I always wanted to hook up with PDW. He's native St. Louisan too. Still see him around town. As a matter of fact, now that I'm in the senior division, I actually see him at a whole lot of the senior tournaments around here. It was one year that we were supposed to hook up for that holiday doubles tournament. And for whatever reason, the stars didn't line up. I didn't get a hold to him as fast as I needed to in order to secure that spot, and he found somebody else. But I always wanted to hook up with PDW just once to do a doubles tournament. But then just to go back a little bit, Ron, Kim Terrell Carney, she did bowl professionally. And you know how I know she bowled professional? Back when she was just Kim Terrell, I think before she ever got married, we would actually watch her. The men would the broadcast show for the men would be on Saturday and the women would be on Sunday. And back then she was just Kim Terrell. And man, we would be in the bar, me and some of my club members, man, it would be fights breaking out over whose girlfriend she was. Kim on TV, that's my girlfriend. Your girlfriend ain't no Kim. Fights breaking out, feet flying, bar stools going there. And then we wasn't even supposed to be in the bar. We all too young to be in the bar. But it was closed back then, but that's where the big screen TV was. And then
Eric Kearney, if you watch it, boy, I know you gotta love that. I know you gotta love that, Eric.
Man, and right. And from Kim Terrell, I think she went to Kim Kennedy. So that's how I know. That was somebody that I used to follow heavily. Got a chance to actually meet her out at the Fresno Championships. We were talking about the Fresno Championships that we used to go out to back in the day in California. And she was at that tournament that I went to. Nicest, just the nicest person, so down to earth and cool. And I'm standing there starstruck, and I almost wanted to ask her for her autograph, but I ain't want to look like no complete geek. But I'm telling you, in my mind, I was geeked out. I was like, she's standing right in front of me. That's her. Yep, that's her. Yeah, hey, man, the good old days. The good old days.
Yeah.
Hey, when you guys hear the word legacy, what does that mean to you?
For me, my legacy has to do with my family, man. At the end of the day, my wife, my kids, my grandkids, my legacy is tied straight to them. And how do I live my life before them? What do I leave behind? What do I teach them? How do I lead my family? So my legacy don't have anything to do with bowling personally. For me, it's all about my family.
Same here, Ron. Same here. My family. I want my sons to be proud of the person that I, was when I'm gone from here. And I told them, please do not put nothing about bowling on my tombstone. I don't want nobody to know nothing about bowling. I want them to know what type of father I was. I don't want people to know nothing about bowling. I just want them to know what kind of individual I was. I think I'm pretty fair, treated people pretty good, and and just try to be a great father. I don't want to know nothing about bowling on my tombstone, please.
Hey, I told you, hey, Stroker, I told you, I'm gonna make sure that happened too. I told you that.
My man.
Hey, real quick, and more, but I'm gonna say this: I ain't gonna be mad if they put a bowling ball and a bowling pin on my tombstone. For me personally, because this game has been nothing but a blessing for me. So, and look, my grandmother, when she passed away, if you can look at her tombstone right now, you got 4 aces on her, four aces on, because my grandma was a card shop. Yeah. She had at least 2 types of cards with her. And when she was driving, she had a card table in the trunk. So I'm gonna tell you, wherever she was at, she was set up shop. You know what I'm saying? So my grandma was so deep in the cards, like I am the bowling. You look at her tombstone. There's 4 cards, 4 aces on her tombstone. So I ain't gonna be mad if they put a bowling ball and a bowling pin, because this game has been such a blessing to me. Again, why am I able to be on this show with you guys right now? It's because of this sport of bowling, man. And so I'm forever grateful and thankful that I got introduced to this sport, because now the relationships that I have with so many people is made a difference in my life.
Definitely.
There you go. Hey,
I'm sorry.
You.
My next legacy is I would say my son, man. I just want him to do everything better than I did, man. That's my legacy. Like right now, man, he's a junior at VMI military school, man. Even though this pandemic is going on, He's a D1 football player, and I'm just so proud of that dude right now, man.
What's up,
You know,
man?
no matter what goes on in my life or bowling, whatever, even though bowling has introduced me to a whole lot of people like you guys. I mean, I love you guys, man. I would not be the person that I am if it wasn't for some of you guys, man, out there in the world of bowling, man.
We
And
love
as
you,
for a tombstone, I told my son the other day, man, he laughed at me. He thought I was crazy. I said, I don't even want a tombstone. I want to be cremated, man. Put my ashes next to a bowling alley. And I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious, man.
All right.
Put my ashes next to a bowling alley, man, so I can walk around that bowling alley and hear the pins, man, go crackle, man. I'm happy.
That's what's up, Mo.
Yeah,
That's
I
nice.
feel you,
That's
man.
nice. That's a good way to go out. Good place to be. Now, I'm probably I think I'm the only panelist that's childless. So, you know, I wish a part of me actually wish that I had a son or a daughter or both to be able to speak so highly of and be that center of your universe the way it is for you gentlemen. And that's a beautiful thing, because on a whole lot of fronts, fathers have been reduced to a hood ornament, and that's not the way that this is supposed to work. So y'all
You're
keep
right.
doing your
You're
thing.
right.
Love the fact that we got strong, proud fathers representing and busting up that stereotype of that we don't handle our business, because, you know, for the most part, it is a stereotype. Yeah,
Right.
there are a bunch of them out there not doing what they're supposed to do, but for the most part, I know gentlemen just like you all, and you are doing what you're supposed to do, and then some.
Appreciate that, Godfrey.
Yes,
Appreciate that,
sir.
man.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
I mean that sincerely.
I
But
don't
since
even
I don't
associate
have,
with Godfrey. I don't
Huh?
even associate with people that I know that got kids out there and ain't doing
and
the
ain't
I don't
doing
even
right by 'em.
associate with them. I ain't got time. I don't associate with them.
Not a good thing. Exactly. Don't even let them inside your circle. Handle your
Nope.
business, and then everything else falls into place from there.
Yep.
So
Yes, sir.
when I hear legacy, I hope that what I'm doing is, I hope that I am the man that my parents raised me to be. I hope that I'm doing them proud. They did get to see me accomplish a whole lot in life. And, you know, my mom, when my mom finally let the whole family know that, you know, God just said, hey, it's time to lay down that sword and chill and come pick up this crown. And not time to fight. And ain't time to fight that cancer no more. That battle is over. The war is won. She told me one of the things, one of the most humbling things I've ever been told in my life. She said, son, I've lived a great life, and I feel like you are a huge reason. You are a huge part of why I've lived such a great life. So, you know, I just hope that, you know, every day I'm doing them proud in one way or another. So that part, yeah, that's what I think about when I hear legacy, but also on the bowling side. I can't even start to ramble off names when you start talking about people that I feel helped to create that legacy that I want to carry on in bowling, because I don't want to leave anybody out. But so many strong men in the bowling center that taught us so many lessons about life, not just bowling, about life in general. That bowling center, like the path that has kept me on. There were men in there that would actually take you under their wing and say, hey, this is what you need to do in certain situations in life. This is what you need to do in order to map out your future where your job is concerned. And if you need to put bowling on the back burner, do it. And like what you all are talking about with your kids, it's like, hey, bowling can wait. Bowling ain't going nowhere. Handle your responsibilities. Do what you need to do at home. Make sure that that relationship is taken care of. Make sure that you foster that relationship with your kids. When it gets to a point that they set the schedule, bowling will be waiting for you when it's time to get back to bowling.
Right.
So, you know, just
there you go.
People outside of the family, it's always somebody that helps you get to where you are. You know, nobody does it by themselves. Somebody helped you. Somebody showed you the way. So that's what I think about, just carrying on that legacy for not just mom and pop, but all those men that came before me that took us under their wings and wanted to see us become the men that they were.
There you go.
Good stuff.
Hey,
Yeah.
look, I hate to cut everybody short, but now my iPad is on 2%. I tell you, this is my first time.
Part three.
My first
Part three.
iPad. It wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad.
I appreciate y'all, but look, I made it happen because hey, this right here it means a lot to me. This is important to me right here. And I appreciate you fellas, man, from the bottom of my
We
heart. Y'all know
appreciate
that.
you, Brandon. We appreciate you, brother.
Likewise.
Appreciate
Number
being
love.
on the
Likewise.
show,
You
man.
already know, bro.
I had
Another
You
great
already
show.
when you were on that second hiatus, I had to get rid of the bow tie because I was starting to feel like a Chippendale dancer. But appreciate you, bro. That was to pay homage to you.
I think we lost him,
Hey, I
guys.
appreciate
I think we
it.
lost
There
him.
he is. He bobbing in and out like what was his name back in the day? Max Headroom. You remember the robot?
Yeah.
He doing one of them numbers.
I'm trying not to die on y'all over here, man. I was like, I'm looking at my percentage. I'm like, man, it's about to go. It's about to go.
Well, we better let you go so you can actually do your outro before you get cut off.
Right.
Hey,
definitely. Hey, include me
I'm
whenever
out of
part
here,
3.
fellas.
Whenever part 3 go down.
Yeah, let me know when part 3 comes
Part
up.
3.
But go do your
Let
thing,
me know
baby.
when y'all ready. Let me know.
All right, peace. Love all y'all.
Love
all
y'all too. Be safe.
Love, baby.
Stay safe.
Love you guys.
All right.
Love you guys too.
Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me, man. That was my peoples, man. I love them dearly. They mean a lot to me, man. And as always, guys, let me turn it the other way now because it was kind of crazy. I'm trying to look sideways and do all this other stuff. There we go. I'm a little straighter now. But as always, man, it's always an honor and a blessing to be in the presence of those positive role models, man. Not just bowlers, but fathers. Fathers first, man. And it's Godfrey, you're a godfather, so yeah, I put you in there too, man. So I appreciate you guys, man. And dude, part 3 will be coming. We're gonna make it happen. But as always, dude, hey, let's do what we do. Be safe.
I got a strike when the iron is hot. One of one, don't follow flocks. Man, I got this on lock. Team Harvey, team Hub, team can't be stopped. Just cop 900 blowing, yellow fresh out the shop. Let's all roll it. I'm an expert on the lane. Smooth approach, about to roll a perfect game. We can't take this on the fish. Just clear the air. Confusion. Right, I'm a link. Eric with the local fusion. Red cup for the right vibe.
Hey, before this goes dead, man, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's been 2 hours and change, but a lot of people just have information, the laughter, the joy, the motivation, everything has been there, man. So I appreciate my boys, man, coming on for part 2, part 3. It will happen. Can't date yet. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Love you guys, man. Bowtie out of here. Peace out, man.